Now the third property is fractional part of x plus n is simply fractional part of x if n is an integer. So basically when I say it is fractional part of x plus n, suppose I say what is fractional part of 0.2? So that is 0.2. What about 1.2? So there will be again 0.2. What about 2.2? So that again will be 0.2. So I'm not interested in its integral value. So integer cannot change its fractional part. So if it is fractional part of x plus n, there will be simply fractional part of x. Suppose I have fractional part of x plus 2. I'll simply write it as fractional part of x, or even I have fractional part of x minus 5. I'll simply write fractional part of x because fractional part of x plus n is same as fractional part of x. Now the fourth one is, suppose I have fractional part of x plus fractional part of minus x. And in this case, it will be 0 when x is an integer, and be plus 1 when x is not an integer. Now, if I take the first case, when x is an integer, now say let x is n. In that case, fractional part of x will be fractional part of n. So there will be no fractional part, it will be 0. In the same way, fractional part of minus x will be fractional part of minus n, which again will be 0. So if I'll add them up, I can simply write fractional part of x plus fractional part of minus x will be 0. So when x is an integer, this value is simply 0. Now when x is not an integer, then let x lies between n and n plus 1. So what I know is x is greatest integer function of x plus fractional part of x. So this is x, and greatest integer function of x is simply n. So this is n plus fractional part of x. So I can simply write fractional part of x is x minus n. Now what about minus x? If I'll multiply it with minus, I know minus n is greater than minus x is greater than minus n plus 1. So I can write minus x as greater function of minus x plus fractional part of minus x. So this is minus x, and greatest integer function of minus x will be minus n plus 1 and plus fractional part of minus x. So I can write fractional part of minus x as n plus 1 minus x. So if I'll add them both up, so x will cancel, n will cancel, I'll simply get fractional part of x plus fractional part of minus x, and this value is equal to 1. So if it is an integer, then the value is 0. If x is not an integer, then the value is simply 1.
If you like the video, consider subscribing and sharing it with someone you know who might benefit from it. Also, the best way to navigate any topic is through a playlist. Simply go to the channel page, click playlist, and select the topic you wish to study.